the bell, and round one. And immediately Crawford starts as a southpaw against the southpaw Spence. Spence has faced only 2 southpaws in his pro career, a win over Emmanuel Lardy in October of 2013 and an 8th round knockout of Chris Van Heerden in September of 2015. And in his 5 most recent fights, Crawford has fought 77% southpaw.
And just as expected, we're seeing the pressure from Spence, calculated pressure, and Crawford, I mean, I thought he was going to start boxing, but he's doing a fine job right now of trying to figure out what Spence is going to do, and more than anything, try to counterpunch.
Spence builds everything behind that jab, one of the most fundamentally sound fighters in the sport, and Terence Crawford, well, he's just one of a kind in terms of what he's been able to accomplish in his career and the way that he has done it. These two are capable of fighting any style, any range, any way, Al, but Terence Crawford, the ability to make the adjustments on the fly without even thinking, just having the instincts to do the right thing. Incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, when you talk about there's Spence going downstairs to the body, Spence normally throws a lot more punches than Crawford. He averages 69 per round to 47.8 for Crawford. So we're going to see how that goes. And the other key thing here is early rounds, you would have expected maybe Spence to do better in this fight because Crawford tends to give away some early rounds. We'll see.
Spence used to fast start, high output. Crawford, yes, likes to collect that information in the first couple of rounds, but against Spence, Abner.
Yeah, way more pressure from Spence, aggressiveness. I mean, we're seeing that jab. At moments, you know, we see the counterpunching from Crawford, but it's the Spence jab that's doing the effect right now, or is having the effect.
And thus far, though, in his career, even here at 147, and again, against Spence, he is facing, as we mentioned, one of the biggest physically imposing welterweight champions ever, but Crawford can turn a fight with one punch. But here's the pressure. Spence cornering Crawford. The jab, the shot to the body. There's a counter left from Crawford. Crawford, an expert counterpuncher.
We talked about the counterpunching that Crawford was going to try to do, especially when Spence, if he tries to overreach, and he did there, and Crawford was able to counterpunch.
Well, for Errol Spence, he would like to move his head as he comes forward to not get countered. He did do some body work in round 1. He wants to get down there. He averages 7.5 landed per round. He has a fantastic right hook. It may be his best power punch. He wants to get that punch in when he can. As for Terence Crawford, he wants to control the range and keep Spence away from him. And countering effectively is vital. That's how he generates his power and what has created all these knockouts, 10 in a row for him. The straight left hand is one of those counter punches that he does very, very well.
Crawford engaged in his 18th consecutive fight involving a championship. His last non-title bout against Andrei Klimov way back in 2013. He's already been a former Ring Magazine champion at lightweight and junior welterweight, looking to win the vacant Ring welterweight title and become the only man to be a 2-division undisputed champion. There was a combination from Spence, and he throws more combinations except for Roman Gonzalez in the sport. He's very active when it comes to throwing combinations. Errol Spence, much more so than Crawford.
17 combination punches per round, according to show stats for Spence. Spence normally averages 34 jabs a round. He threw a few more than that in round number 1.
Yeah, letting his hands really good go, Spence. The jab again. Starting off, you got to win that battle of the jab, and Spence is doing it good against Crawford, waiting too long. We talked about him being a slow starter. Second round, let's see if he lets his hands go a lot more.
Double jab, good combination. There's that hand speed and the combinations of Terrence Crawford.
A really good head movement from Spence at that distance. Was able to take a lot from those shots from Crawford.
Overhand left curls behind the guard of Crawford, and then Spence splits the guard of Crawford with a stiff jab, and again connects with the left hand curling behind the guard.
The Spence jab is working overtime, and that's been helping him along with the movement. And we have both those things we talked about after round one.
And he's got that kind of pressure that just builds momentum as the fight goes on. He starts fast, ends fast, and that pressure is everything.
Yeah, I mean, his fundamentals, speaking of Spence, I mean, just brilliant. I mean, doesn't do too much, but just enough, which is jab, jab, and left. Enough, the precise pressure, it's right there.
The epitome of a textbook fighter. Errol Spence, there's a jab from Crawford that lands.
Crawford tried a really nice counter right hand a moment ago. He's going to find his rhythm when he can throw those counter punches.
And Crawford with the left hand. So things picking up here in round 2, 30 seconds left in the second stanza. Left hand to the body by Spence. Sharp jab, fast, explosive jab to the head and the body. And there's a combination that drops Errol Spence for the first time in his career. That lightning hand speed. 7, 8. Terrence Bud Crawford, an electrifying combination that drops Errol Spence in round 2.
Crawford was able to land that straight left jab, which is fascinating. So it was a jab from Terrence Crawford. We thought that originally, but when you see the replay, it's fascinating. Kind of a counter punch. We'll take another look at it, Abner, and it was just a very straight power jab from Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, Spence kind of overreached there with that, and Crawford saw the opportunity, and it was a quick 1-2 right in the chin, and he did damage. He put him down.
Early drama in Las Vegas. Round number 3. And Spence coming back with a hard combination.
And on no one's bingo card did they have a second round knockdown with a jab from Terrence Crawford. That was fascinating.
That was great how Spence started this third round. It was a beautiful overhand left that landed on
Another
Crawford.
one, and now Spence going to the body. But Crawford fighting back. Both of these guys are dogs in that ring. Crawford fighting off the ropes, the jab splitting the guard. There's a jab from Crawford. So Spence looking to get back into this fight after hitting the deck like the card dealer. Another M&M reference for Terrence Crawford in the second round.
Yeah, that definitely woke him up. He's a lot more aggressive, throwing a lot more, getting inside. But Crawford, again, be careful. He's a precise puncher.
Midway point of the third, stab jab to the body by Spence. Quick combination upstairs by Crawford.
He gives Spence the advantage. Spence lets off, but when he gets an opportunity, Crawford is really dangerous and really effective.
And a reminder, both these men getting used to fighting against the lefty for the first time in a long time.
Beautiful combination there by Spence, but the counter and the speed of Crawford on display.
Yeah, the accuracy for sure from Crawford. And every time that Spence takes that step back.
The jab by Crawford, and again that right hand, the speed, the difference in hand speed on display, and Spence again bothered by the offense of Crawford. Sharp, accurate jab from Terrence Bud Crawford.
Step around him, okay? Here's the angle. He's standing right in front of him, all right? Step around him. If you're looking at him, that's why he's hitting you. You're waiting on the entry. Keep yourself and step around him. Turn him. He thinks he's standing right in front of him. Keep stepping around him. Keep the wild shots on him. When he gets tight, keep the wild shots on him. Keep the wild.
Towards the end of the round, that's when he slows down, all right? Keep that jab in his face. Keep the jab. Keep that motherfucker pumping. Switch speeds up on up and down, okay? He gonna get careless, because he gonna come. Give me a deep breath.
Crawford trained by former pro heavyweight Brian Bo McIntyre. Spence trained by former pro middleweight and light heavyweight Derek James. Floyd Money Mayweather in attendance. He and Manny Pacquiao had a mega fight back in 2015. Both in attendance here tonight.
Two superb trainers plying their craft, both with excellent advice to their warriors.
And this round, in the fourth round, usually Crawford steps it up a little bit more. And we got a little bit of sense of that. He started off really good with the jab. Double, triple jab and body work.
Crawford going to the body. And that difference in hand speed on display, the accuracy, the explosiveness, the body movement, but Spence trying to come forward, trying to lean in on Crawford.
Crawford's counterpunching has been superb in this fight, and he's picked his spots, and when he's done it, it's been great.
Yeah, no doubt the pressure there is from Spence, but the accuracy and the footwork from Crawford, the openings.
The left hand and the left uppercut by Crawford. He's able to just find those openings and land punches creatively.
And the advice given to Spence,
oh my goodness, a left hand that rattled Spence. Crawford going to the body, and Terrence Crawford having his way with Errol Spence Jr. The jab, the left hand, coming up on a minute and a half left in the fourth. And Errol Spence's face already showing, already telling the story. Double jab left hand by Spence, but he gets jolted with the jab from Crawford. Even the jab is a power.
The jab is a powerful punch from Crawford. Every punch that he's throwing and he's landing is definitely hurting Errol Spence.
And the advice given to Spence, you know, he's not turning, he's not moving off the center line to turn Crawford. That's what that's what they want him to do.
Terrence Crawford, as competitive as it gets, a palpable chip on his shoulder. He'll find critics, but none exist just to get that edge. And he is really a junkyard dog at the end of the day. This is a guy who, when he has his opponents hurt, has perhaps the best killer instinct in the sport. And he continues to jolt Errol Spence with the jab, left uppercut to the body.
Oh, he's feeling really comfortable right now, Crawford.
Well, Abner hit on it. This is the part of the fight where Crawford usually starts his assault, but most people thought Spence might still be doing good work at this point, but right now he's taking it on the chin.
Coming up on the conclusion of the first third of this championship fight, already a bravura performance from Terrence Bud Crawford, who has already knocked down Errol Spence. Amazing start for Crawford.
An excellent round for Crawford, using the jab so effectively and getting to Spence when Spence gets on the inside, using a variety of punches, including the uppercut. See Spence trying to get downstairs to the body of Crawford, but not able to do it. Later in the round, a lead left hand that lands perfectly. And I think it's kind of surprising to see Crawford, even when he's not countering, being able to initiate the offense and land like that.
Tight defense behind the jab. Keep the right hand about it. He's shooting the left hand. Get about the head and swing your feet. Hit it. Time. Over here.
Chief ringside physician Dr. Damon Zavala called in to inspect Errol Spence Jr. And we begin round number 5. Spence looking to establish the rhythm with the jab. And meanwhile, the countering accuracy of Terrence Crawford is sublime.
Yeah, the accuracy, the speed right now from Crawford. Really, just the timing is perfect for him.
Most experts thought this would be an evenly contested battle. Terrence Crawford is... This is eye-opening out.
It really is. I mean, it's astonishing that he's been able to be this effective this early in the fight and on every level, both countering and initiating offense.
The 35-year-old Terrence Bud Crawford from Omaha, Nebraska. He calls himself the professional franchise from that city.
And for Spence, it now comes down to almost, he's got to land something that makes a difference in this fight. A power punch that will set Crawford back. Can he do that?
He looks stunned.
Yeah, he's got to land a big shot or pressure enough to get Crawford off that rhythm that he's got going
right
now.
Hook and the right hand from Crawford. Every time Spence walks in, he's met with highly effective counters.
You know, Terrence Crawford's a really good counterpuncher. This is on another level tonight.
Yeah. I mean, the angles, if you notice that he's using, every time Spence steps in, there's Crawford taking the side step, creating a beautiful angle for the uppercut.
Crawford attempting to become the first male fighter in the four-belt era to become an undisputed champion in a second weight class. Clarissa Shields has achieved that feat on the female side, and with just over a minute left in the 5th, it is all Terrence Bud Crawford. While he's punching less, he's landing a lot more.
Terrence Crawford is landing 58% of his power punches, which is everything other than the jab. That's a ridiculous percentage.
Against a fellow pound-for-pound stalwart, no less. And here comes Spence. Couple of right hand stab jab.
Yeah, that eye's not looking good on Spence right now. He's not forgetting that detached retina.
Digging to the body. You're right, Abner, and you know all about that, do you not, sir?
Yes, I've had 2 detached retinas, so he's got to be careful.
Oh, there's a left hand that lands on Crawford, but he eats it and continues the jab by Spence.
That was the kind of punch Spence was hoping for. It just didn't have the kind of impact he was hoping it would have. We'll see here, using the jab very effectively. That left hand did get in for Spence. It wasn't perfect. It didn't land right on the chin. It's the kind of punch he wants to get in there.
Walk, boom, boom. He's shooting with a check hook, he's shooting a shot, and he really hit me with a jab, a lot of jab. I think he did, but it was close. Listen, walk down. Don't give him the space. Make him feel you. And shoot the shot tight in the middle. Use your legs to step around him, okay? Don't stand it. Good fucking job.
Terrence Crawford is a freak athlete, a former wrestler. This guy is built from the feet up with his physical strength, and we've already seen that he can generate a lot of power. Again, the counter and the lands, and Errol Spence now backing up, and we don't normally see Errol Spence backing up.
No, then is the Crawford pressure right now that he's putting.
And Crawford is putting the punches on the face of Errol Spence.
Wow.
Here in round 6. Crawford avoiding the brunt of the body blows.
And the reason...
He's so composed.
Yes.
He's so...
Again, the reason why Crawford's jab is so effective and so hard is because he's a natural right-hander. So that jab, I mean, he's got a lot of power.
You bring up a good point. He actually messed up his right hand when he was fighting in school, and he started practicing more on his left, and he says his left became stronger than his right, and hey, he's deadly either way he goes.
You know, people may say, gosh, why is Spence concentrating so much on the body in this round? I don't think that's a terrible idea on his part, because it's what he does really well, and it could help get him back into this fight a little bit, and he's landed some good body punches.
Nice.
Right hook from Spence.
Yeah, he's got to get inside. He can't reach.
Oh, my goodness, that jab is so punishing. He almost dropped him again with that jab.
Again, the right distance right there that Crawford has.
You know, also had a power jab from Southpaw. He's in attendance tonight, that being Manny Pacquiao and referee talking to Spence. But that jab is incredibly punishing from Crawford.
You know who talked about that was Sean Porter. He said that when you thought you had the right space for Crawford, he would take it away. And it seems like he's doing that against Spence right now.
Right, one of the two common opponents, Sean Porter, who's always making life miserable for his opponents coming forward. He said he never felt that he once made Terrence Crawford feel uncomfortable. I think Errol Spence is beginning to feel the same way. Spence trying, coming back, going to the body, but then gets clipped with the left.
And you feel Spence almost want to hold on the inside, and that's not the best sign for him, because that's the place he has to really work. See it? There it is there.
Sit back.
Double jab, dictating the pace of this fight for Terrence "Bud" Crawford.
I mean, it's just...
And we have already reached the midpoint of this championship fight. It is all Terrence "Bud" Crawford looking to make history. Left uppercut on the inside that caught Spence on the jaw.
Now here's where Spence was working downstairs, trying to get to the body, trying desperately to make something offensive happen, and even landing a nice right hook. But the counter punch from Crawford was so effective. And here's where Terrence Crawford showed us in that last round, initiating the offense with that shotgun jab. And Morrow made the point, that jab almost put Spence down. And then later on in the round, Crawford will counter as Spence moves forward, then lands the straight left hand. Spence is not moving laterally to his right or his left. He's staying right in the line of fire.
Make sure you got room on the inside to punch, okay? Let's go.
We begin the second half of this championship affair, barring a draw, no decision. We will crown the first undisputed welterweight champion of the four-belt era. Spence now trying to come forward, trying to deliver combinations, and Crawford avoiding them. Beautiful counter left hands, and there's a right hook to the face of Spence by Crawford, and Crawford's accuracy just backing up Spence with these punishing shots.
It is exactly that, the accuracy, the reflexes from Crawford. I mean, counter punching.
And you know what else? tell, Terrence Crawford's keeping his right glove up so well to block those straight lefts from Spence. So even when Spence leads with his jab appropriately and comes with that left hand, he just can't land it.
According to our unofficial score, Steve, Farhood, Errol, Spence down. Already big on the scorecards. Won the first round on his unofficial scorecard. And again, the counter. Just as Spence thought he landed a shot, he goes down for the second time of the fight.
7, 8. Walk over here. All right.
The preternaturally talented Terrence Bud Crawford making it look way too easy.
He's a great finisher.
The accuracy, the punishment. Errol Spence going down for the first 2 times in his career in round 2. And here in round 7. And again, guys, he landed that left and boom! Lightning fast counter.
Now there's a beautiful right hook by Spence. He's trying his best offensively to get something done, but even when he lands a good punch, it's not hurting Crawford.
Not at all.
Now, when he tries Spence, I mean, there's always a reaction from Crawford. 1 or 2 good, solid punches that are just too much for Spence right now.
I mean, Crawford's landed 52% of his punches in this round. That's
Remember, accuracy is power. The accuracy right now from Crawford is just phenomenal.
Spence continues to go to the body. Under 30 seconds left in the 7th. Spence usually the one who's putting on the pressure, the one moving forward behind a steady jab and body work. He has been stopped in his tracks repeatedly by Terrence Bud Crawford.
Spence has thrown 234 jabs, but only landed 28, so it has not been a weapon for him.